Hello, everyone. Spirit House here. I'm going to be reading from The Message of the Divine Iliad by Walter Russell. This is volume 2 that we're reading, and this is the second book. There's 3 books from the Divine Iliad, which the reason they're called that is because he wrote them before this book was compiled. And we're on the second book out of those 3 books, which is part 1 of volume 2. And this book is called The Book of Beauty, and we're on part 3 today. He who knoweth beauty, yea, he shall dwell in my house. The learned man, or he who possesseth great riches of earth alone, but knoweth not me in him, yea, he shall not dwell in my house. But he who possesseth great riches of heaven and earth, knowing me in him, yea, he shall dwell in my house. The doors of my house are wide open to the most humble and unlearned, whose heart beat echoeth the rhythms of my thinking. He whose inner ears heareth my voice in falling waters, in soft breezes of hillside pines, in tempestuous tornado, and rhythms of pounding sea, in the motion of star systems of my firmament, in the silences of interchanging lights and shadows interplaying o'er the hills and dale, or in the moods of the winds and the light of earth's moon. Yea, he who is so attuned to me is already in my house, and createth with me. To him I give all knowing and all power, to think my universe into rhythmic, balanced forms with me. To these who are thus illumined by my light, I speak in rhythms of light for the uplift of our men. Such illumined ones are my messengers, who re-inspire other men and open for them the doors to my kingdom. These, my messengers to man, who know beauty and love and truth, sit high up on my right hand in my kingdom of light. These whom men belittle I enthrone in the glory of my light. To these illumined messengers I give all-knowing in the measure of their desire for all-knowing. He who is thus enriched with the treasures of my high heavens, and dwelleth in the light of me, even though he liveth in a tent upon the mountainside of earth, and shunned by man, is richer than any man of earth who knoweth not me in him, even though he sitteth upon a jeweled throne of gold, and ruleth vast kingdoms. Without my illumined messengers, man's blood-born kingdoms would forever be blood-born. For man of clay who seeketh to possess wealth of clay, like unto his clay is forever jungle-born. Verily I say, even though the sword replaceth the club, man who killeth man is still jungle man of clay until he knoweth beauty and heareth my voice in him. Yea, man of earth is still barbaric, and forever will be until he heareth my voice whispering in my rhythms of beauty through the creations of my inspired messengers. Through my illumined ones, whom I have anointed with my light of all-knowing, man's jungle world of hate and fear of neighbor and nation will unfold unto the world of peace throughout the unity of man. But again I say, all men will come to me, but the agony of awaiting that day shall be theirs alone. Part 4. Go thou and say to man these my words for the now unfolding new cycle of man's progression. Better is it for him that he knoweth not his numbers nor his letters, than that he knoweth not the beauty of the dawn. When man seeth beauty in the lily with eyes of clay, likewise seeing naught but ugliness in the mire from which the lily sprang, he seeth not with inner eyes, else he would see me in both the lily and the mire which sprang from the one light of me. For I say that he who knoweth beauty in me seeth the light of my knowing and thinking in all my unfolding forms, and heareth alike the silent rhythms of their unfolding from my body to manifest me. He who knoweth beauty in him seeth the unseen and heareth my heart beat in the silent rhythms of my symphonies. He who addeth beauty to his knowing addeth majesty to his stature. Ennobled is he on my throne. And the light there shall be in his eyes, which all men can see who know my rhythms. For in him is beauty made manifest. All unfolding things in all my universe are beautiful, for all the manifesting me in my knowing and my thinking. But their beauty is not in them, it is alone in me. To my eternal body I extend my knowing through my electric thinking to unfold the idea of my knowing into imaged forms of my imagining. But again I say, the forms of my imagining are not me, nor is the beauty of their forms in them. It is alone in me. Part 5. See thou no more with outer eyes alone, for thou hast knowing eyes to void the illusions of thy sensing. Throughout long eons man has walked his earth with eyes of outer seeing, giving belief to that earth of his body's sensing. Throughout his new eons he must walk the earth of inner seeing and know me in it as but visioning it in the light of me and the light of him. Sensed man of earth must now unfold into knowing man of my high heavens, who thinketh my knowing with me as one. Knowing man is cosmic man, who hath risen above his sensing to know me in him as his very self. Verily I say, the dawn of cosmic man is in its beginnings. Go thou therefore to all the world and sow the seed of thy knowing. Write thou my message to cosmic man given thee at thy anointing, and send thy books to all people and all nations to transform them into knowing men by the renewing of their mind through new comprehension. Thou shalt sow the seed of knowing man in unfolding man's progression, and no rest shalt thou know until thou hast well fulfilled thy task. Through cosmic man the unity of man beginneth. Many are they who know me in them. Sow thou the seed of beauty, love, and balance in them, and multiply thou them until their legions shall illumine the dark of man's barbaric ages with my omniscient light. Say thou to thine anointed ones these, my words: Thou art love, thou art beauty, thou art balance, thou art truth. Go thou and give love, beauty, balance, and truth to thy neighbor. Think not thou of doing great works in my name. Go thou to thy neighbor. Think thou of thy neighbor alone. One seed sufficeth not for a meadow, but out of one seed cometh a sheaf of 10. As many sheaves of 10 filleth the great granaries, even so will thy sheaves of 10 encompass the whole earth to bring into being the new age of cosmic man. Say thou to these, my words, to thy neighbor. Go thou to 10 men who will believe on thee, and multiply thou them by 10, and yet another 10, until a legion shall be as a wall of granite beneath thy feet. Heed thou my commandings, and sow thou my seed of love, lest man destroy himself by his continued desires of earth, knowing not me in him. Be not neglectful of thine own tasks, my son. Leave not to others of lesser knowing that which thou thyself must do. That which must be done for cosmic man to come must have thine own self in it. He who conceiveth must himself unfold his concept. The mason layeth the stones of the master's thinking. Thou thyself must impart thy knowing in the light of thy excuse me. Let me start this paragraph over. The mason layeth the stones of the master's thinking. Thou thyself must impart thy knowing in the light of thy anointing to cosmic man, who will build thy knowing and mine into balanced rhythmic forms with thee and me. And out of the knowing of thine anointed legions a new world of unified man shall spring. For where thine anointed shall gather together to thus unify man through his knowing of the light of me in him, there shall I be in their midst, and they shall not fail. Part 6. In my name, say thou to man, that in his great unfolding he shall no longer place earth before me, gaining aught of earth and not of me. Man's earth is my body, from which man's body appears in its myriad cycles of unfolding and refolding. My body is not me, nor is man's body man's, even though it is the seed from which man's form cycles appear and disappear. For I think earth, and earth appears, disappears, and reappears in balanced cyclic wave rhythms of my electric thinking. Wherefore I say man's earth and man are but my imagining, to come and go with the cyclic rhythms of my thinking. It is not me, nor is it him, nor is it even what he seems to be him. No longer shall sensed man of clay be man in man's believing, for man's knowing must be master of his sensing. His knowing will be my knowing, and his imagining my imagining. Man thus knowing will think his knowing with my thinking. My omnipotent power will then be his in the measure of his knowing. Thus shall the inner light of cosmic man to come control the temple of clay within which he dwelleth with me and buildeth with me as one. My universal body is my temple. I dwell within my temple. Behold thou my kingdom of rest, which centereth my temple within which I dwell. My body manifesteth me, even though it is not me. My body is beautiful and perfect, for my rhythmic, balanced thinking in all its seeming parts is rhythmic, balanced, and perfect. Man's body is man's temple. Within man's body, the light of his spirit self dwelleth as one with me. Man's body is beautiful and perfect when the interchanging rhythms of man's thinking are balanced in the equilibrium of my beauty and my perfection. My kingdom of rest centereth man's temple when man dwelleth with me in my kingdom. Seek ye all men my kingdom. To him who findeth me, all knowing, all power, and all presence shall be added unto him. When man knoweth the light of me in him, naught can upset the balanced rhythms of my thinking in him, which maketh the temple of his body to be beautiful and perfect. As man buildeth his temples of worship from stones of earth, even so he buildeth the temple of his body from clay of earth. Man knoweth that the spirit of his temples is not in its stones, yet he knoweth not that his spirit self is not in his clayed image form, which but manifests the self of him. Wherefore I say to awakening cosmic man, whose knowing is my knowing, and whose thinking and imagining are my thinking and my imagining, thou shalt henceforth build thy temples in the one light of my knowing, and thy knowing as one, and they shall be beautiful and perfect, as I am beautiful and perfect. For I say to unfolding cosmic man, ye must be reborn in the beauty of my knowing. With each incoming breath ye must be reborn in beauty and perfection, and thy creations will be beautiful and perfect, for their rhythms will be my rhythms manifested through thee, their balance my balance. When my ecstasy is in them, as thine and mine, thy creations will endure as long as my creations endure. With each pulse beat of thy heart ye must be reborn with the love of my knowing, and thine actions shall manifest my love in thy dealings, and thy neighbor. And peace shall be in them, for thy dealings will be beautiful in their perfection of rhythm, in all of their loving interchange. Again, I say unto all men that thy dealings with thy neighbor are with the whole world of men, for what ye do to one, ye do to all. Mark ye well these my words, for all mankind is one. The hurt of any one is the hurt of all. It lowereth all mankind. Likewise, the good of any man is the good of all. It uplift all mankind. He who manifesteth the beauty of my thinking in the orderliness of the universal law expressed in my unfoldings and refoldings, in my givings and regivings, and in the rhythms of balance in me, is already in my house. The doors of my kingdom are opened unto him for my anointing. Verily, he shall know no limitations which are not my limitations, and he shall know all things. These commandings of my father, mother, have I translated true for man while in the light upon the mountaintop. And that is the end of the Book of Beauty. And I will start in my next video with the Book of Healing, which is the third book in part 1 of volume 2 of The Message of the Divine Iliad by Walter Russell. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe because it helps me grow my channel. And I will see you on the next video.